these are the books that I'm planning on reading in the month of March. Now, if you've already read the Red Rising series, you know that the month of March should really be a recovery month for me. And it's going to be, because last month was the month that I picked up one of the most emotionally tragic space war strategy stories I've ever read. And I think my brain needs a little bit of a breather. I'm definitely going to continue on in the series this month, but what do I do after that? Well, let's get into it. Now, when I left February, I left off at Iron Gold in the Red Rising series, and of course, I'm jumping right into it. In fact, I've already started and finished Dark Age, and started and finished Lightbringer. Yeah, I actually just finished this a couple hours ago, and the amount of anger, sadness, lots of sadness, but anger I have for a certain character in this book right now, I'm gonna need Pierce Brown to come out with Red God as soon as possible. Yeah, I don't know how I'm not gonna be thinking about this until Red God comes out. But essentially, Dark Age is the 5th installment of the Red Rising series. Technically, there's the first trilogy, which is good on its own, but this is the 5th book in the 2nd sequel series. And Lightbringer is the 6th book in the series. I'm obviously going to get more into this in my wrap-up at the end of the month, but this series is a lot darker than the first one. Dark Age very much describes this perfectly. And Lightbringer, hello, darkness, my old friend, was the most emotionally tragic book I've ever read. Anyways, after finishing Lightbringer, I definitely need a palate cleanser, and I need something completely different than the Red Rising series just to kind of bring my mind, body, and soul back to its natural state. So I decided to go for something a little bit more fun, a little bit more messy in my favorite way, and that is through Housewives, specifically my favorite housewife, Lisa Rinna. I haven't read a memoir maybe ever. I mean, no, I did read Matthew McConaughey's, and I loved that. So this is my first memoir in a very long time. I just started it a couple hours ago, and so far I am loving it. I'm listening to it on audio, and Lisa Rinna narrating it is actually quite hysterical to me in a good way. So this has been the best decision of picking this book up after the Red Rising series. Next, we have The God of the Woods by Liz Moore. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know a lot about this book. All I know is that I've seen it on everyone's Goodreads. I've also seen that Taylor Swift was listening to it on audio. So if there's one thing about me, it's that I want my mind to be as similar to Taylor Swift's as possible. So if she's read this, I want to read it. But in all seriousness, this is a literary mystery where a girl goes missing. She disappears from a summer camp, and the more and more people look into this case, they uncover secrets about the family and the case itself. So I'm very interested in this because I could use like a nice thriller mystery book to kind of, like I said, reset my factory settings. And of course, after resetting my factory settings, I want to just go right back into sci-fi with Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir. Now, the main reason I'm reading this is, number one, I have seen so many people rave about Project Hail Mary and how good this is. The movie is coming out later this month, so I want to read it before then because I want to go see the movie. However, I'm the type of person that I need to read the book before a movie, before a TV show, just because I do feel like once I've seen the movie or the TV show, it really does muddy up how I think of the book after. So definitely want to read this before I go see the movie. From what I know about it, though, this follows a scientist who wakes up on a spacecraft with absolutely no memory of how he's got there, only to slowly realize that he is on a mission to save Earth from extinction. So, no pressure. It's supposed to be a really funny science fiction adventure, and I'm really excited for that. I do think the tone of this is going to be completely different than the other sci-fi book of Red Rising I was reading, so I think I'm going to be okay with picking this up this month. Next, we have The Book Club for Troublesome Women by Marie Bostwick. Sorry, that is such a mouthful. This is a historical fiction of women who grew up in the 1960s. These women start a book club where they start to have conversations about the expectations that are put on them as women. And through this club, they start to confront marriage, their independence, and their role in society, especially at the time. So I'm really excited for that. I'll feel like I'm just chit-chatting with the girls about just an average day. Except no, in the 1960s it was, I mean, it's bad now, but it was way worse then. And last but not least, we have True Colors by Kristin Hannah. Now, this is a hopeful. I try to sneak in as many Kristin Hannah books as possible. I am definitely trying to make my way through her entire catalog. I am so excited to read this because it's been a minute since I read a Kristin Hannah book, and the last one I read was so unexpectedly amazing. I'm hoping that this will be the same. This story follows 3 sisters in a small town in Washington, and it explores their very complicated relationship with one another and their family and the choices they have made as adults. But whenever I see a story written about siblings, I always gravitate towards that just because any relationship, whether it's with a sister or with a brother, I always gravitate towards those stories, and it reminds me of my relationships with my brothers, as complicated as they can be at times. So I'm excited for this. I think I need this. But anyways, here are the books I'm planning on reading in the month of March. Some I've already finished, some I've started, and some are a complete different shift from what I was reading last month, and that is much needed. But other than that, I think this is going to be a good month. I'm excited for this. That's all, toodaloo!